How are we doing, Highway Rivals family? Back again, episode 10. We've really just seen NBA playoffs, but these playoffs have been kind of crazy. To me, they've been some of the more interesting playoff games in the last couple years. But also want to talk about the draft lottery, which we got in about 17 minutes. So we got that coming up. We'll pretty much have a live reaction to that. And then also to finish out the games that we got coming on tomorrow and the rest of the week to finish out the series. We're getting close. But to go ahead and start it off, we saw we'll start with the 3:30 game, which was Nuggets Thunder yesterday. Thunder played really good defense yesterday, held the Nuggets to 8 points in the first quarter. Nate, kind of speak on the Thunder's defensive effort, especially these last two games. I guess they've just been slug house fights. It's crazy.
Yeah, they've come out and really. Obviously it's been a defensive mindset with them coming out in these last couple of games. They're scoring in the 90s and the 80s. Holding to 87 last game, like you said, 8 points in the first quarter, 18 points in the fourth quarter. SGA, he had a great game too.
Mm-hmm. He definitely responded.
Yeah, definitely.
He played all around well, I think.
The Nuggets, they had a good game. It was close till the end, but they just couldn't finish it out. We'll be tied now 2-2, and then the game tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be the game tomorrow. And the thing that sucks about that specifically for the Nuggets is that their first round went 7.
Yeah.
So you know that they're just dead. Their legs are dead. They're old, or at least they're an older team. So you know they're gassed. Trent, do you expect the Thunder to be able to use their youth and be able to close this series out? Or do you think the experience will win it for the Nuggets?
We talked about game 3 and 4, and I feel like, those are the pivotal games in the series. And, watching the Nuggets win that last game before this game, it kind of made you think, okay, the Nuggets might pull away with this just because of their talent. But
yeah.
I like the way that the Thunder responded. Shai Gilgeous played like an MVP.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like right now, if I were to take a futures bet, I would take the Thunder to win the Western Conference.
Interesting.
So if you're planning on betting on that, they're probably the favorite.
For sure.
But I would take them right now, yeah.
Yeah, no, they look at their best. They're the best team in the league, and it's not even remotely close, in my opinion. The problem is when it comes to the playoffs, are you getting their best every night because of the added pressure,
right.
The teams that they're playing with more experience? There's a lot that goes into the playoffs, and I do want to hit on Nikola Jokic yesterday. And really this whole series, other than I believe it was game 2 where he had 40 and 22.
That was unbelievable, though.
He's only had one good game this series, and I think that people are starting to pay a little bit more attention to his box score because
right.
He has to be great. They don't exactly have a team, at least in my opinion, to where he can't be great.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to play better 100%, only finish the day. He had 27 and 13, and that looks great, right? It looks great. Pull up his shooting splits, though, Nate.
I don't know if I can.
For the viewers, pull up his shooting splits. He's I believe I saw something about it today. I believe he's
7 for 22, 2
he's
for 8 from 3.
29% from the field.
Yeah.
He's
putting up a lot of shots.
Usually he has to.
Yeah, he does.
2 for 8
right.
from 3.
Yeah. So and he had a really bad 3-point cold streak for a while that I know he was able to hit some yesterday, but
yeah, he's 0 for 10 in game 3.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this too. I do look at this box score a little bit, and it is, a little troubling for me with the Thunder, and knowing that their 2 and 3 score, didn't have the game that they were supposed to have. They both. Jalen Williams shot 2 for 13, 0 for 5 from 3. Lou Dort shot 2 for 10, 2 for 10 from 3.
Yeah.
Holmgren 4 for 10 from field goal, but 0 for 3 from 3. So, if they really want to lock in and, take this series away, I really think that they all have to play together. And, if they're all making shots, I think they can put up 130, 140 points
Oh,
every
yeah.
single game. So.
I think Colin Coward made a great point on air today. Chet Holmgren has to be their second best player. They won't win a championship. They won't get a championship out of this roster.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially when you consider the second apron that the CBA just added, where it's going to be really hard to construct super teams. Chet Holmgren's going to be making a lot of money in this league, and if he's not playing like your second best player in the next 2-3 years, he's just going to be gone on a different team.
Right.
So, I think for the Thunder, it's this year or bust. Unfortunately, they're going to have a lot of guys up for extensions this year where they're not going to be able to pay all of them. And I think it's going to be a situation where you see Shea stay, but the draft is going to be really important. I also saw something funny today. People were calling Jalen Williams, not the 2-guard Jalen Williams, the big man Jalen Williams.
Yeah.
They're calling him the Jokic stopper right now. It's kind of valid. Like he's holding him to under 30% from the field goal or from the field. So, if Jalen Williams is doing that to Nikola Jokic, I don't know. Gilbert Arenas said Nikola Jokic, if he wins the MVP again, might be the worst 3-time NBA MVP of all time. That might be a little wild.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
But why is Jalen Williams kind of clamping you? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he's doing that and that's kind of his job in the series, then I feel like, props to him.
Yeah. And I know you've been rolling Thunder. I know you've rolled them all the way to the finals. You still feel pretty confident with that?
Yeah, they're going to go up 3-2 here, I think. I still think they can get the series done in 6, but it might go 7.
Yeah, I'm still rolling Nuggets in 7. They are dog tired, though, and I wouldn't be surprised if Thunder had more legs, had more juice.
I
able to close
will
out
say I
six.
did see a rumor where there is a possibility, and this is probably not going to happen, that Oklahoma City could end up with the first pick in the draft.
Well, they have a pick.
So,
And also another team, we'll get to the lottery. Another team that has a sleeper position to get the Cooper flag is Houston because they own a pick from the, which team is
it's like 2 teams have an asterisk mark by their names.
They own a pick from like years back from one of the worst teams. I think it might be the Wizards. I know you guys have your other protected first round this year.
Yeah, the Wizards should get a top 2 pick.
Yeah.
No, I think the Wizards will get the 1. but
we'll get
what do I
into
know?
that. Either way.
That's just a rumor. I
Yeah.
heard. We'll find
get
out
into
here in
all
about
that.
10 minutes, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Pacers Cavs, we saw the Pacers jump out on the Cavs in the first half. They had a 41-point lead going into the third quarter.
It's belt to ass.
Nate has predicted this all the way, and I want to say props to Nate for just knowing ball. What did you see in this Pacers team that made you believe them so much, even though they were kind of just like a middling regular season team?
It's just after the All-Star break, they just changed. Tyrese Halliburton started playing different, and so did the rest of the team. And the guys, look at the box score. Look how many guys are in
100%.
double digits. It was like 8 or 9, 10 guys.
It's really impressive.
They're just deep. They've had guys who have been with the Pacers. They're just a rounded team that has played together, and that's why I think they're controlling the series so well. Like when they play at home, they're very hard to beat.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
Indiana's a hard place to play.
That
so-
environment, man. I don't know if y'all watched that game, but it was unbelievable just seeing, Indiana Pacer fans just.
they were up
At the
40.
top.
I turned it off at half because it was over.
Yeah, it was a hard watch after the third.
Trent, I want to ask you, we did see Kenny Atkinson end up benching Donovan Mitchell in the second half.
Yeah.
That is, I don't know what to think about that because we all tend to think that no lead in the NBA is safe because of the way players can score now. What did you think about Kenny Atkinson's decision to go ahead and sit D. Mitch in that second half?
First of all, he's a great coach. I think, this matchup in general is a battle between really 2 good coaches.
Rick Carlisle's stamped too, though. He's got rings. Or a ring, yeah.
I respect the decision in the fact of, you got your ass kicked. It's 3-1. Your back's against the wall. I think it's only motivation. If they're going to pull it off, it's going to be a miracle at this rate, which I don't see happening anymore.
Unfortunately, no. They had to get it 2-2.
But, Donovan Mitchell is one of those players that, we've seen throughout the playoffs that can carry a team on the back and go and win a game. So now, obviously last game, didn't go well. But at the end of the day, if you don't have production from other players, and especially whenever they didn't have their other starters earlier in the series, it was tough for them from the jump. And then them coming back in, rushing them into the playoffs. I think it was a tough spot for the Cavs. I also do think they were a little overrated, but
They 100% were. I was all over them this year. I do have a bit of Donovan Mitchell bias as it is, but I was all over them. I thought for sure that they were the best team in the NBA. Their size, they have the Defensive Player of the Year. When you watch their team in like high stakes situations, they are tight. They are tight. Like Kenny Atkinson gets tight. And that's one thing, like, you can't be like that in the playoffs. You saw it from J.J. Redick, too. J.J. got tight not playing Jackson Hayes, and that bit him in his ass. So,
right.
I think the cooler heads always prevail, I believe is the saying. And the Pacers are playing like they know how to play. They have confidence. They look like they know what they're doing, and they've closed this series out regardless of if it's actually over or not. I thought something that was funny of that game yesterday was the altercation between Benedict Mathurin and DeAndre Hunter. Benedict Mathurin is a 10 out of 10 rage baiter. He 100% punched him in his stomach. And DeAndre Hunter did what, I would have done.
You can get away with it, I guess.
I can't believe Mathurin didn't get ejected.
I guess you can get away with it. I don't know.
Mathurin did get ejected. I can't believe DeAndre Hunter didn't get ejected because we've always been taught like retaliation is the worst thing you can do in the NBA. So that was a little surprising, but neither here nor there. You get punched in the stomach, you're not going to let somebody just do that to you. So, but that was a good moment to have for the playoffs. The Cavs, if that was the last ounce of fight that they have, at least it was entertaining, I guess.
It's unfortunate to look at Donovan though, because he's a star player in the league, and I feel like right now he's going to get a lot of criticism.
Yeah, he's not great right now.
People are going to tell, like he's not a championship player that can carry you to a championship.
Oh, he's not. I'm a Louisville fan. He's not.
And it's just, becoming more prevalent, and it sucks because I really want to see that team just get over the hump.
I don't care about that team. I want Donovan Mitchell to win a ring, though.
But honestly, I enjoy watching the Pacers. I enjoy what they're doing.
They're
right
fun,
now.
bro. They're fun to watch. They play in transition
Halliburton is one of the most exciting players in the playoffs right now.
They have fun young guys like Ben Shepherd hitting buzzer beater threes. Like they have a fun team.
I'm gonna go back to it. Light skinned shade. No, I'm playing.
Light skinned shade. Okay, bro. Freaking Andrew Nembhard.
How much did he have last game?
I think he struggled low key, but it didn't matter. Like everyone did their part. Everyone did their part, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean the highest scorer in that game was 21.
We're gonna hit on the lottery as it's coming up in 5 minutes, but for now we're gonna predict the games for tonight. You guys will see this tomorrow, so basically just watch this video and tell us whether we're stupid or not. Knicks Celtics coming up in about 35 minutes here. You guys saw my parlay of the day. I'm rolling Knicks plus 6.5 here. I would have bet them money line. It is just a tough spot to be in, and I know they're gassed in a way. And Karl-Anthony Towns has to play better. How did you feel about the Celtics' response in Game 3, though, Nate?
It's kind of scary. I mean,
it is. It 100% is.
The Celtics are good. I mean, we knew that. We knew they could put on a performance like that.
Yeah.
Now, how are the Knicks going to respond is a big question tonight. I think that the Knicks will win this game and go up 3-1.
Wow.
I laid the 6.5.
Yeah, I'm taking Knicks money line.
Okay.
And I'm riding that.
Hey, man, I like it. I don't want the Celtics to advance. The NBA actually needs the Knicks to win, in my opinion. As far as, anticipation for the NBA Finals, if we have the Knicks Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals, that'll be really fun to watch.
I think Knicks take that too.
I think the Knicks would ultimately take it, but I wouldn't rule Indiana out, bro. I wouldn't rule them out. Indiana plays a style of basketball that the Knicks play the exact opposite. But the way the Knicks can do this is if they can just keep it close until the fourth. In every game of this series, they've outperformed the Celtics in the fourth quarter. So I want to ask you, though, Trent, let's say the Celtics knock this up at 2-2. We're obviously rolling Knicks. Who are you rolling?
So I'm going to stop before I give my pick. I do think that this game is the deciding game of the series. I think whoever wins this game tonight is going to take the series, because I believe that if the Celtics win this one tonight, all the momentum is right back in their hands.
Oh, yeah, and you're going back to Boston?
You know it's going to be a rowdy Boston crowd. It's going to be a tough one for the Knicks if this series gets tied up 2-2. I'm just going to say that right now. But I do
Honestly,
believe
I kind of agree with you.
if the Knicks win and it's 3-1, I don't know if the Celtics are going to have enough juice to win 3 straight.
They're going to be deflated if they lose this game. And that's kind of what I was going to ask you. If we see the Celtics knock this up at 2-2, do you think that they're just going to coast to the finals after that?
I think so, yeah.
Because Indiana really can't touch them, in my opinion.
Because I genuinely think that, like, it's the playoffs is more of a, who gets hot right at the right time. And if they get hot and they start winning and they just can't lose and they go into that Pacers series, but also you got Pacers too. They're hot,
I don't want to hear anything else about Jason Tatum being a top 10 NBA player. Derek White is their most important player.
No, I did pick the Celtics to win.
Derek White is the Celtics' most important player.
I wouldn't say that.
He is. He is their most important player. When he is hitting threes, they're unstoppable. Because Jason and Jalen are going to get theirs. But if Derek White is playing his best game, they are undoubtedly the hardest team to
They're
beat.
top 2, not 2 cringiest team in the NBA.
They're
corniest team
They're
in the
terrible
NBA.
to watch. I don't like watching the Celtics.
They're corny.
Moving away from that, though, hope the Knicks win. T-Wolves Warriors tonight. This is scary territory for Golden State. I know, Nate, last game you said, okay, this isn't the worst case scenario for the Warriors because they needed to figure out what they need to do in Game 4, rotations-wise. They obviously don't have Curry. I'm going to roll Timberwolves here because I don't think if Anthony Edwards plays at his best I don't think there's a lot of teams that can beat them if he was playing at his best. But the Warriors without Curry damn sure can't. Who are you rolling here?
I'm going to go with the Warriors. I expect Jimmy to have a big game. It's one of the biggest games of really his playoff career. It's just with the circumstances of him coming from Miami and it's just all the stories and the drama, being put onto him per se by the media. I think that this could be a game that he comes out and is playoff Jimmy and gets the Warriors to tie this series and potentially maybe they can have Curry back in a Game 5, Game 6. You don't know, but
you don't want to rush Curry back because they're going to re-sign Jimmy, and they will have another crack at this next year. So I don't think you want to rush him back. I think the Warriors are going to lay down, and that's kind of leads into my question for you. Obviously, no Curry. You're praying to God that Jimmy can get hot in a completely new system that he's playing in. We're seeing Pat Spencer get critical minutes in playoff games. There's no way in hell you think they can even win this series, though, right?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of feeling what Nate's feeling a little bit. I think that the Warriors, and it's not necessarily anything against the Timberwolves because I think the Timberwolves are an amazing team, but I think the experience at the end of the day is going to win them this game. I think also coming off of 2 losses in a row, I think they're really going to wake up and they have to understand that this is a pivotal game in this series. If they don't win this,
it's over.
It's over because Curry comes back, he said Game 5, right?
6.
So, you got to win this game. And then the next one, I don't know. But I'm honestly on both dogs tonight. I like the Knicks plus 5.5, and I also like the Warriors plus 5.5. So
I don't like the Warriors because we saw Ant get hot last game. 28 in the second half. I'm pretty sure he had 38 overall.
I think he'll have another good game, though.
He had a really rough stretch of playoff games right there. And you feel like you're kind of watching him get his confidence back. And that's why I just don't think if he's the best player on the floor tonight, it's just so incredibly tough for any team to beat them as it is.
I agree.
But you take Curry off the Warriors, what are they supposed to do? Jimmy could have 40 and I don't think they could win. There's not enough scoring elsewhere.
That's what I'm saying. Other guys got to step up and make shots. Draymond's got to be able to hit open threes, and Kuminga's got to be able to come in and contribute.
Yeah. Pull up that draft lottery. see if they've announced anything yet. Yeah, I don't see a shot for the Warriors here. It's just ugly. It's an ugly series for them, and it's very unfortunate because this series would have been a lot more entertaining with Curry in it, obviously. I said whenever the Lakers went out that the Timberwolves are my new team as far as who I think can go win it all. I still believe in that. Their ceiling is extremely high. When Julius Randle is playing out of his mind, when Anthony Edwards is playing at least 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, Gobert is playing good defense. I mean, people forget he's a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. The Timberwolves ceiling is just very high to me. It's just tough without Curry, you know what I mean? And we're gonna tune in this draft lottery real quick. Nate, as a Wizards fan, obviously you guys want Cooper Flag, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Is there a world where you guys, like, if you guys don't get him, like, you guys are, like, okay with that at all?
Right now, I'm not okay with it, but I will say there are a couple free agents or a couple guys who want out that interest me. One being Kevin Durant and him being from Washington.
Yeah.
That interests me, but he is older, so I don't know if they can bring him in and bring pieces around him. If they can't, then I don't want that. But on the other hand, Giannis is out there too. But I don't know if the Wizards have what they need to go get Giannis, and I just don't think they can go get him and other assets.
Yeah.
I think getting the first pick here is very pivotal. I don't want pick 2 or 3, to be honest with you.
Well, that's what it is. That's what pick the Rockets have.
Yeah.
They have the Suns pick. That's what it was. And the Spurs have the Hawks pick. The Spurs are a sleeper team because the lottery literally just goes the way the balls fall.
Mm-hmm.
People think that there's some conspiracy. No, it literally goes the way the balls fall. It's not the NFL. It's not corrupt.
Another thing to add in, the Utah Jazz have never had a first overall pick, and they have a 14% chance to get the first overall pick tonight. It's between them, the Wizards,
And the Hornets.
So it'll be interesting.
Sheesh.
I feel like for the league purpose, they're gonna give it to the Hornets. I don't know why.
I hope DC.
The Hornets.
I don't know why.
I hope
Cooper
DC
Flag and
gets it.
LaMelo.
I just think that's what they're gonna do, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
DC
LaMelo
needs
in
it
the
bad.
playoffs will be a lot of fun to watch. I will say that, but it also you have to consider the organization in Charlotte.
But I
think Charlotte's closer to selling the team.
But you hear me out though. You take a corrupt organization like Charlotte, and then you throw Cooper Flag in there. I mean, that could
Oh,
be
yeah,
a
they go win
generational
30
player.
games.
I mean, it
They
could
go-
change
yeah.
the whole entire.
Cooper Flag can change.
Does he want
any
to
of
play
those
in
3
Charlotte
teams,
though?
I think he'd rather go play there instead of Washington.
I
Honestly.
disagree.
He's
But
close.
maybe I'm
His
wrong.
I
town's
disagree
closer from
completely.
DC. It's up north.
I disagree completely.
Like
I don't know. I think it'll end up being DC
Plus-
or Hornets. One of the two.
Plus,
DC
if
or
you're the
for sure.
Hornets, are you keeping Miles Bridges if you get Cooper Flag? Because you're paying Miles Bridges a shit ton of money.
No, I don't think so.
So
I think you trade him.
I think that
I mean, they have to be realistic with Cooper Flag.
the Wizards got to get this pick.
the Wizards, yes, you guys need this.
I think it's between you and the Hornets. I mean, I don't think the Jazz are going to get it. History repeats itself. I don't think they'll get the one.
I felt like the Jazz won too many games this year.
No, I just don't think they'll get it.
The Jazz have a really weird situation where they have a really good head coach. They have a
that'd be,
great head coach, but they don't have a roster.
I know they have Jordan Clarkson, and that's about it.
That'd be an
literally
awkward spot, I think, for Cooper Flag to land.
I just don't know how much he can grow there. I think in DC there's unlimited potential because
There's so many young guys. They have so much potential there.
one, we know what that fan base is like. We know what it's like to see DC fans get rallied behind a team. Those were some of my favorite
Tickets
teams
are going
to
to sell.
watch.
If he
Those
starts
were
to-
some of my favorite teams to watch. Those John Wall, Brad
start to
Beals,
win.
the Gortat screens, when y'all got Paul Pierce, he was
teams
hitting
are
buzzer
nice.
beaters in the playoffs. Like, those teams were really fun to watch. And I think it would be really good for the NBA to have DC back in conversation. Another team I want to see have a really good draft is Chicago. I don't care about the Bucks being good, especially since we know Giannis is basically out the door. I don't care about a lot of these teams in the Eastern Conference being good. The Bulls need to be good, though, and they
agree.
need to have a slam run draft. I think if you're the Bulls, you're maybe looking Ace Bailey. You're maybe looking Trey Johnson. You're looking for just a killer. but you're not getting Cooper Flag because Kobe White won you too many games. But we're gonna see what happens in this lottery. You guys will see it. You'll see the video tomorrow. So those are our thoughts on it as of right now. We've got it pulled up on Nate's computer. We're gonna see what happens. I hope he goes to DC, and I know Nate's a DC fan. I'm not a DC fan. I just want to see it happen. I think it would be great. You guys got anything before we get out of here?
You want to run through these or no?
No, we're gonna do a separate video for the NFL stuff.
Yeah.
Nate, you got anything before we get out of here?
No, that'd be it. That's all.
Wanted to touch on NBA for real.
Yeah, we were just doing quick reactions to the NBA. Like Trent kind of mentioned at the end there, we do have a football podcast coming very soon. You guys obviously saw our clips. We love that you guys were kind of arguing in the comments. That's always fun for us. I know you guys think the Bengals just will never have a defense again. I tend to think, owners and GMs, they can fix things like that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's been fun, guys. We appreciate you guys. Peace.
Peace.